This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us on tonight, Monday, August 12th, for the Young Entrepreneur Syndicate Group Coaching Call. Tonight, we are talking about creating demand. And I like this topic. It's an important topic. Creating demand is crucial for entrepreneurs, especially because it drives sales, right? And that's what we all need to do. Whether you're in a service-based business or a product-based business, you need to drive sales. You need to fuel your business growth and ensure long-term and short-term sustainability for your business. I've had a couple really interesting conversations today. I literally 2 minutes ago just got off the phone with a client, and this conversation I've had 3 times today, and it was all about what's happening with their business in terms of seeing a financial strain in terms of selling their products, e-commerce products online, people not having money to pay their bills, employees being desperate and suing companies because they don't have any other options. So I think we're living in a time right now there's a lot of unrest, there's a lot of uncertainty, and the need to create demand for your business to sustain and achieve success through this time is going to be very important. So I hope that everyone gets a lot out of this call tonight. We're going to spend some time tonight looking at other entrepreneurs and other businesses that have created demand successfully. We're going to look at a few people that I know a lot, that I think very highly of, and that a lot of you also follow. We're going to look at Andy Frisella. We're going to look at um, Alex Hormozi. We're going to look at First Form. We're going to look at Apple. We're going to look at a couple different brands and businesses and people that have created demand over time. We're also going to go through some questions that you should be asking yourself about how you're creating demand. And we're also going to share at the end a 10-point checklist that you should run your business through to see if you are leaving money on the table or if you're creating demand and showing up in all the different integrated touch points of where you're presenting yourself to the target market and through your marketing in the integrated ecosystem of your business. So all of that being said, I want to repeat that why is creating demand important? I'm going to say this one more time and I'll say it again at the end. Creating demand is crucial, especially for entrepreneurs, because it's going to drive our sales and fuel our business growth. So that is going to help ensure long-term sustainability for your business. Bottom line. Okay. So when you are creating demand, you need to ensure that your offerings are, consistently solving problems or meeting needs and building a reputation that naturally attracts demand and builds trust and builds referrals with other people. So that is something that's going to be on you. Are your products and services doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? Are you fulfilling the promise that you've made? Like, if it's, if it's a beverage, does it taste good? If it's an energy beverage, does it fuel you with energy? Is it an effective product? Is there room for improvement in your product or in your service or in your offering? So, make sure that that value is consistent and it's not varying between clients. It's not varying between batches. It's not varying between different runs of product that you're producing. The consistent value is there. That's the other thing with demand is sometimes it's important to build anticipation or generate excitement for upcoming products or services. This could be like a teaser or a pre-launch campaign or an exclusive preview of something early. So for example, since I just happened to be drinking a First Form energy drink, like I saw a video of Andy Frisella the other day, and he had one of these, and it was like an American flag on the blue here for the logo. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I think he was recording his podcast or something. And I was like, oh, I need to go order some of those. Not because I think the flavor sounds amazing. I think the flavor is called like America. Like, I don't know what it's even going to taste like, but it doesn't matter because I was like, oh, like I got to have one of those. It's an election year. I want that. Like, so, now that was a very subtle type of advertising that he did. He just was drinking it. But there's other ways to build anticipation for different product launches that you're going to have, or short-term runs of things, or an exclusive offering. I really like when you can make things exclusive to certain people for a certain amount of time. I'm going to give you an example. So for public relations, whenever we're getting ready to work with a client who's going to announce something exciting and we're going to pitch it to the media, before you just spray and pray and put it out over the wire. If you're really doing a formal pitch, then you're going to pick maybe 2 or 3 different reporters that you have your eye on. Maybe they cover this industry that you're talking about. They've written articles on similar topics. You identify them. You reach out to them personally. Hi, it's so nice to meet you. I loved your article on XYZ. I'd love to offer you the opportunity to cover this exclusively before anybody else. Let me know if this fits into your editorial calendar or if it works into your workload. I'd be happy to delay my launch. It's currently under embargo until September 1st, but if you think you can cover it, be happy to delay that. So that personal outreach, that making something exclusive might make that reporter more likely to write about it. Now that's in pitching PR, right? But you could also offer a short run, or like, let's say you have a product, and let's say I'm just going to keep using this energy drink example. If you're only going to be producing it through November, then that would give people a reason to buy. Make it a collector's edition, right? That could be another way to create, to build anticipation and create demand. So one of the things that we do in advertising that everybody knows the industry for being famous for is Super Bowl commercials. So back in, 30 years ago, brands, companies would spend $3-5 million for the time to run their 30-second or their 60-second ad. The big transition that happened about 10-15 years ago, 15 years ago, was the anticipation was more valuable than the advertisement itself. So what brands started doing is they did pre-launch before the Super Bowl. So they had teaser campaigns that would lead up to it. And then the Super Bowl spot was just like the answer to whatever the campaign was, or it was the payoff. It was the thing people were looking for. They were waiting for it. Or it was there would be like pre-ads that told a story that you wouldn't find out the ending until the Super Bowl. So a lot of the value was in the anticipation. So there's a lot of ways to use anticipation as a way to create value. So those are just a couple different examples in different industries. If you think of questions either tonight or later, and you want to talk about how to strategically, build demand with your company, that's something that we can brainstorm on the side. So, all right, we've talked about the importance of consistently delivering valuable products and services. We've talked about building anticipation, generating excitement. The next one I want to talk about is you can elevate the perceived value. So let's say that you want to position your offering as premium or unique by highlighting the distinct benefits or strategic pricing, or maybe you want to use a scarcity tactic, right? And say that you can build demand through that. Scarcity would be an example of like, well, I only made 10, right, of this one of a kind thing. Or, I'm only taking on 2 clients, for the next 6 months. Get your spot now. If it's a service-based business, that's another way of the perceived value. Alex Hormozi talks a lot about value and pricing. And, if you're asking for too little, so a lot of times people, if you don't ask for enough money, then they don't see the value in it. When he was talking about selling gym memberships and he was selling them cheaply, and then he had his gym launch program, and then he was offered it to somebody for like $10,000, and they were like, sure, great, I'll take it. And he was like, well, all right, next time I'll ask for 20. And they were like, sure, we'll take it. Next time he's like, I'll ask for 30. Sure, we'll take it. He's like, oh my God, I should have been asking for more all along. So, people value things. And I think I'm thinking about Heidi right now because I know some people sign up for personal training even though they don't go. But like the fact that they're even paying for it, there's value in that. Like they feel like they're doing, at least they're doing something. So think about the value of the product or the service that you're presenting. All right, another way to create demand is to leverage success stories. Now, these are the testimonials, the case studies, customer successes. This shows that you're credible. It's going to showcase your tangible benefits of your offering. So, how did you help a client? Like we used to have this client, it was California avocados, and we were always competing with Mexican avocados. That was like our big competitor. And so we used to do all these blind taste testings, and then we like helped the California avocado growers sell like exponential amount of avocados. And it was like, as an agency, we felt, we had a lot of value for them. Like we used that as a case study, as a success story to then help us get other clients in the produce area. Then we like got medjool dates, and then we got salads, and it was like all of a sudden we're on this whole kick down the produce aisle. So you just never know, like, what is going to click with somebody. Like maybe it's somebody in my world, it's that their business succeeded, because if their business succeeds, then I succeed. Like the OC Marathon, when they're one of our clients, when they have more signups, then they meet their goals, and they have more marathon runners, more half marathon runners, more 5K runners, then we've done our job right, because we're helping them recruit, people to sign up. So it's good to showcase your wins and get your clients to leave you testimonials. There's this website that I'm going to tell you guys about. It's called, um, is it Clutch? Um, Hang on, agent. Yeah. So there is this website called Clutch, and it's a marketplace for finding business solutions. So if you service the B2B space, Clutch was somewhere where you can create a profile for yourself, and you can say what all your products and services are, and B2B customers go there looking for credibility. So also there's like a very how like right now if you leave a Google review, it's like it's a verified customer or not. Like with Clutch, there's like they personally interview your clients and put their reviews on your profile. So it's like, I think it takes like 20 minutes. So your client has to really like you. But um I will share this in the there's two of them actually that do this. So I'll share this in the meeting notes. There's Clutch, and then I'll remember the name of the other one, and I'll give that to anybody that's in the B2B space. Okay. Um, oh, success stories I also should mention in the B2C space. If you're not doing testimonials, you're not collecting those regularly, like you really, really need to. If you're using Shopify, for example, and you're an e-commerce product, I really like, there's this app. I think it's called Okendo. Yep. Okendo is one that I really like for leaving reviews on Shopify specifically. So I'll also send a link for that one as a follow-up to this meeting. But if you're not a Shopify business, you're another kind of business, I like Google reviews because it's goes for everybody and everyone trusts it and everybody follows it. So just make sure you take the proper steps to get verified through Google, because they do make you jump through some serious hoops these days. Okay. Another way to drive demand. So we talked about consistent value and ensuring your offerings and products and services are consistent. We talked about building anticipation. We talked about perceived value. That could be strategic pricing or scarcity tactics. We talked about leveraging success stories like testimonials or case studies. Now, the next one I want to talk about is creating urgency. So drive immediate action, right? This is like limited time offer, or that's like when they have like, Black Friday sales or an exclusive deal just for Mother's Day, right? Just for Labor Day, that kind of stuff. I know that my mind and probably yours jumps to, oh, okay, well, if it's a urgency thing, then it's got to be a discount. Um, yeah, and sometimes, especially with lower price tag items, that can prompt like a quick decision making. But I know business owners that don't like to discount their products ever. And I'm okay with that too. Maybe what I would do if I didn't want to give a discount is I would give an upsell opportunity. So let's say it's Labor Day, and instead of saying, oh, 10% off everything today, I'd be like, hey, if you buy over $100, we're gonna give you I'm back to the beverage. We're gonna give you a free water bottle holder today, or we're gonna give you a sticker, or we're gonna give you a free hat or something. Like we're gonna upsell something or give you an extra bonus rather than discount. Because I'm not a big fan of discounts for valuable products with small business owners. I think discounts can be reserved for the big giant conglomerates. But that's not us. That's not who we're serving, and that's not who I'm talking to right now. So I'm gonna take a sip. Give me a second. This is not an ad for First Form, I swear. Just works out that way today. Okay. All right. So, but let's take that opportunity though to talk about Andy Frisella, and let's talk about First Form. Let's really look at how both Andy and First Form have created demand. Okay. Because that's what tonight is all about, is creating demand. So I would say that Andy on his own is his own brand, right? And we've talked in the past a lot about the importance of personal branding. And when you have a strong personal brand, you can apply that personal brand to a multitude of products, right? Um, Look at like, Beyonce can have a clothing line, she can have a perfume, she can have a record label, she can act, like you can apply your personal brand to a lot of different things. And that's what Andy has done. So Andy's taken his personal brand and his personal reputation. um, he's created the 75 Hard Mental Toughness program. He's created First Form, Arate. I know he's in, other businesses too. But all in all, I think people that are loyal to Andy, you know, this engaged community of dedicated followers, they enjoy from him, consistent, authentic communication through his podcast, through social media. Um, you know, it's it's very on brand. Everything he does is that like no nonsense, transparent approach to, building trust with his audience and encouraging people to be the better version of themselves, whether it's through like their mental health or their physical health or their eating health. It's all kind of in that, camp. It's like when you think about Andy Frisella, you think about, well, how am I going to better myself? And how is this guy going to inspire me to better myself? So I think that, he has created this demand that people count on. And the biggest tool that he's using of that we've talked about so far is consistent value, right? So of the five that we talked about in the beginning of consistent value or building anticipation or the perceived value or success stories and urgency, like there's some of that with his stuff, but I'd say most importantly, it's consistent value. And he releases a podcast almost every single day. And this morning it was so funny. There was there was a 10-minute like micro podcast that he released. It was either last night or this morning, but I saw it this morning and I was listening to it while I was making breakfast for the kids. And right as I finished listening to it, Jim's motivational text comes through that was all about like an Andy Frisella driven message. And I'm like, this is so great. We're all on the same page. And it's that consistency, you can count on it. It's going to be like that. It's almost like a cup of coffee for me, I feel like, but it's not like a latte or a frappuccino. It's a shot of espresso, or it's like an Americano. It's like a big shot of caffeine. So that's, I think, what's happening with Andy. Now, First Form, if you dive deeper into that, First Form is a premium supplement brand, by the way. I mean, they're focused on quality, um, community given, driven engagement. They've got a strong, loyal customer base. They've got their ambassadors, they've got their trainers, like they've got, um, I think for them, it's, of course they have consistent, like good products. Like There's not inconsistency in the product. They're very transparent in like their ingredients and their sourcing of their products, which is great. There's a lot of videos right now on social media and a lot of research being done on like bioengineered food or bioengineered ingredients in food. And, you know, like if you can't pronounce it, then what is it, right? Like, so I like that First Form's really transparent with their community. And they've got this like community focus. They don't, you almost feel like you're joining a friend group, right? So with them, I know that it's consistent value. Um, Now building anticipation, I haven't seen them do a lot of pre-launch when they have a new product. It's like I've just noticed that all of a sudden it's just there, but I know that it's not going to be there forever. So the way that they're using, it's not anticipation, it's more about scarcity. It's like if you don't get it when it's there, you might not get it at all. That could be with a new flavor, that could be with a limited time offering of a product or of some of their apparel. So it comes and it goes and it changes out all the time. So I've seen other brands do that too. Then they do leverage success stories, um, which is also really great to see because you see a lot of before and after challenges, and you see a lot of um they don't call them trainers, legionnaires who are like their trainers who are always, promoting health and wellness in their products and that kind of stuff. So really like it. Okay. I do want to talk about a couple more examples. Now Alex Hormozi is somebody that I think kind of like came on the scene in a really big way. He's got books, he's got videos, he's you know, kind of like made a name for himself as a guy who's great at sales. And he's got value-driven content. There's some specific videos that I pulled for you guys that I'm gonna share. I guess I could put them in the chat. I don't want you to watch them now, and I will send them at the end, but and I don't know if the hot links will go through on the chat. So you know what? I'm gonna send them at the end. Sorry. But he's got specific videos on value-driven content. And if you've read any of his books, he talks a lot about value-driven content there too. So um, I think he's really leveraged his own business success to build credibility and attract an audience that's eager to learn from his methods and then achieve success too. And because he's given a lot of his content away for free, it's wildly accessible. He's got like this large, following, and he's kind of known for being like, no fluff, kind of like Andy, but uses a little less curse words. So that's just another one to keep an eye on. Now the next one I want to give as an example is Grant Cardone. Now, Grant created demand by positioning himself as an authority in sales and real estate, using that 10X brand to inspire and motivate entrepreneurs to achieve success. And when I first started my business, somebody gave me two books. They gave me 10X by Grant Cardone, and they gave me The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And I think both of those are on the back end of the Yes website. And I'll double check. I'm 90% sure that they're there. But if not, like I would highly recommend those. Um, so that the 10X brand, that's that 10X philosophy that you can, like achieve 10 times more success than you thought. Like set your goals 10 times higher than you would, right? So he's created this brand for himself all about being a sales expert, and this consistent need to achieve and to 10X your life and 10X in all these different ways. And there's a lot of people out there now that are doing that are following that principle, and that are building their business there. Side note, I recently started following his wife on social media, and she's kind of a ball buster too. I really like her. And I think Alex Hormozi's wife is kind of amazing as well. So like a lot of these like power couples are on the scene right now, which is really nice to see. I really like seeing the power couples, kind of creating demand and driving business as a unit, as a team. That's really awesome. So okay, I have two more examples in these. We're gonna look at Lululemon and we're gonna look at Apple. So, um, Lululemon, love them or hate them, like they really pioneered the athleisure trend. They were one of the first to start charging like $100 for a pair of athletic pants, and everybody like really bought into it. They originally were known for super high quality, stylish athletic wear, and I think their quality has kind of waned over the years, and the marketplace has gotten a lot more crowded. Um, but one of the things that I thought they have been doing, that has been unique, is they've created this community, of ambassadors, of known like movers and shakers in the athletic space, that they have gone so far as to feature in their stores. And they're not just using models, they're using real people. Um, and they focus on in-store events and offering yoga classes. And I think that they turn their customers into these loyal brand advocates, and they turn these micro influencers into minor little celebrities in their communities. And I like that they are doing that. I think it's good for the community, and to it promotes like being healthy and being active. And I haven't seen the other competitors in that space embrace, um, the ambassadors with as much, support as they have. So I think that that's something unique to them. All right, now Apple. I'm an Apple user. I know some people are Samsung users, but I'm very loyal to Apple. And as this book that was written by, one of the Saatchi and Saatchi guys, one of the big advertising agency guys, wrote this book called Love Marks. And what love marks means is it's loyalty beyond reason. It basically means that, like, if you love a brand and they make a mistake, like, you'll kind of forgive them anything. Like, it's like beyond reason. You're like, okay, like, I like to use the example of, like, like my Apple Watch, right? Like, if my Apple Watch happens to like malfunction a little bit, I'm like, oh, I'm sure they'll fix it. Or like, oh, I'll give them a pass on this, it'll be okay. Like, they'll fix it. um Whereas if I had like a different brand of watch, and it gave me any trouble, I'd be like, oh, this piece of crap. So I have like real loyalty to the brand, and I think Apple has done a great job of that. They've consistently innovated, they've consistently delivered high quality like products. So, that's one of the things that we talked about, right? Consistently innovating, consistently delivering high quality products. They've got a strong brand, they've got a great user experience. And I think that, they're going to continue to innovate. I feel like they have to, like they will. That's just like a given. I just think they're fantastic. So anyways, okay. All of that to say, um, we have talked about some examples. We've talked about 5 ways to create demand. The 5 ways being consistent value, building anticipation. Oh, which by the way, Apple does that beautifully too, with like a new product coming out or new features. They do that crazy good. Hang on a second. All right. Can everybody still hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Okay. My car was gonna shut down, and I didn't want to lose the audio. Okay. Although I did like the thumbs up. Oh, thumbs up. Did it work? Yeah, okay. There we go. I got the little thing. Okay, great. All right. We talked about perceived value, we talked about leveraging success stories, and we talked about creating urgency. All right. So from here, I want to pivot into putting the air conditioning back on. Hang on. All right. Whew. Okay. All right. So there are 5 questions that I want you to ask yourself. First question is, what specific problem or need do people have that your product or service can solve? And I'm going to put these in the chat on the way. So these are going to be questions to ask yourself. All right, number 1. What specific problem or need do your customers have that your products or services can solve? All right. Number two, and you don't have to answer this, right here, right now. I want you to definitely think about it. So the second question to ask yourself is, what unique value or differentiation does your product or service offer that competitors don't offer, right? Like, what are you doing that's differentiating you from the competition? What unique value or differentiation does my product or service offer that competitors do not? All right. Now, as you guys are thinking about this, I'm going to talk about them a little bit. So for my business, it's easy to give you the example. So what problems or need do my customers have that my products or services can solve? All right, well, my customers need branding, they need a logo, they need a trademark, they need their website URL, they need the social media page set up. They need to be able to list their products online. They need to be able to reach their customers, right? Like, so then what product or service do I offer to meet those needs that's going to be different than the competitors? Well, I specialize in working with independently owned brands and businesses and professionals. So if they're independently owned or their professional service, they know that I've worked with a lot of different people like them. So they know that they're going to get to work with the people they talk to. They're not going to get passed around like they would at a big agency to just some like intern down the way. So that's a unique value or differentiation of my business from the others. So think about that for you. The third question, and by the way, there's 5 questions. So the third question is, what channels or platforms do your target audience frequent, and how can you effectively reach them there? So is your target on TikTok? Are they on Instagram? Are they at the local, Pop Warner Little League tournament over the weekend? Are they going to church? Are they, are they running marathons, right? Like, how are you going to reach them? Where do you want to be talking to them? When do you think they're going to be open to talking with you? Or are you going to find them at the spa? Are you going to find them at the gym? Are you going to find them, at the local coffee shop, standing in front of the community board, right? Like, how are you going to target them? Then the fourth. Okay. And by the way, for my business, like, I get 99% of my business from referrals. So the best thing that I can do is have long-standing, valuable friendships, valuable relationships with people who are entrepreneurs and work with independently owned businesses. So that can be like through spending time with kids, spending time at church, spending time with nonprofits, and then, getting referrals through there. And the fourth question is, what are the pain points or like the moments of friction in your customer's buying journey, and how can you alleviate them? How
Did Rachel cut out for everybody? Thumbs up or down? Yeah. Okay. She probably doesn't know it yet. It's that damn Tesla. All right. I'm going to weigh in for a minute while she gets reconnected. Utilizing traditional internet and I don't know, blue skies. So one thing that she touched on earlier, and as it relates to customers and product, I love the consistency perspective of what you're offering, so that over long term people realize, whether they're just finding it or they found it a long time ago, it's extremely consistent over the years. What's funny about Andy, in my world, I'm very familiar with Andy. He's had one of the largest podcasts in the country, but I meet people every single day that doesn't know his first form products or his podcast or his public speaking or anything else about him. And I think that's what's important to notice about that, or recognize about that. Doesn't matter how big you are, there's still a huge customer base that's out there and available for you. And if somebody is referring you to them, they're going to expect that that company's delivering the same thing to you the way that you're referring it, right? So just keep in mind to always deliver the same thing. Rachel, you owe me. I covered for you. You're on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, my phone got too hot. And anyway, I'm back. Okay. So I think we were talking about number 4, pain points. Okay, great. Pain points. So I always ask my clients at our first meeting is like, what problem are we trying to solve? What does success look like? They have to know where they're having problems. Their problem could be, I don't have a website. Their problem could be, I have an old website. Their problem could be, I'm not posting consistently on social media. Their problem could be, they're not getting in that, they don't have enough awareness, or they're getting leads, but they're not closing on those leads, right? So different problems, different people, different reasons for all of them. So think about your customers and why they're coming to you. What are their pain points? And always have that, and set that baseline for them as well. Like, what does success look like? You have to sometimes be able to go back to your clients and show success. All right. So set that baseline in the beginning. Like, oh, your sales were X. We're going to work together, and in 3 to 6 months, they're going to be Y. Or we're going to, we're going to complete all these tactics. We're going to get all these things set up for you. Like, that's what success looks like. So then you can go back and have that gut check. All right. The 5th question to ask yourself, when are my customers most likely to need or be interested in my products or services? And how can I, plan accordingly? So I'm going to put this one in the chat. Number 5, when are my customers most likely to need or be interested in my products and services? So do you sell something that is a great gift? It'd be a great Mother's Day gift, a great Father's Day gift. Is it a great summer product? Is it an all year round product? Is it a seasonal service? Do you wrap presents for a living, or do you offer calligraphy and it's going to be great for brides? I mean, think about, when are your customers most likely to need you? I have a client. She does makeup services for brides. Fantastic. But that's like a, very specific niche. So she needed more awareness, and she wanted to expand to other people and places. So now she does makeup for TV shows and movies and quinceañeras, and it expanded because that was one of the things that was a pain point, is she was only doing brides. She needed others. So I've got another client similarly. He's a photographer and he does a lot of weddings, but then he expanded and raised awareness in his corporate work so that he could do more photography for businesses, which, helped to subsidize his revenue. So there you go. All right. So we have talked about 5 different ways to create demand. We've looked at examples of other people that are creating demand through different tactics. We've asked ourselves 5 questions to know if how we're creating demand. And I want to spend the rest of the time going over a checklist for creating demand. So I will send this to you, or I'll put it all on the back end of Yes. But what we're going to do is I'm going to bring up 10 different topics. And at any given time, you should be able to look at your business and kind of check the box and be like, yep, I got this one. It's good. So first one has identify your target audience. Have you identified a target audience? Have you clearly defined who your ideal customers are? Do you understand their needs? Do you know their pain points? Do you know their preferences? Back in the day, we used to do this thing called silhouettes. And there was this big research firm out of Chicago that published once a year these giant books that were like full with census data. And then they would put people into groups, and they would like have them all categorized. And it was like, these types of people behave in these ways. So if you are approximately this age with approximately this spending power, this is about how you use social media. This is kind of where you live. These are the kind of products you buy. Like the research, the big data that's out there and available on target markets is great because we live in such a digital age where we're capturing things all the time. So if you have, hopefully you're able to check that box. You know who your target audience is. Okay, checklist item number 2. Did you develop a unique value proposition? Okay, this is, let me explain it. Are you able to articulate what sets your product or service apart from the competitors? Like basically this is your why. I'm muted. Was I muted for a long time? I'm good. Okay. So why are you the best? What do you believe? Why are you the right choice for them? So be able to check that box, have a unique value proposition, put it on your website, put it everywhere. When you introduce yourself, it should be the one sentence that's easy to repeat that you can just roll off the tongue. And, I like to say that branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. If this why statement is so simple and so powerful and so repeatable, it's like anybody should be able to repeat it, right? I'm Rachel. I own a full service marketing company. Why do we do this? Because we believe in working with independent brands and businesses to help them make a difference. Like that's something that my 11-year-old could maybe remember, right? So think about what it is for you. Number 3, check the box on this one. Have you leveraged your customer testimonials or your case studies? Or so basically, are you using real life success stories and testimonials? Are you using those to enhance your credibility and demonstrate the value of your offering? Hopefully you can check this box. You've got a couple under your belt. You're collecting, maybe one a month. Not crazy, but you set a goal for yourself to get them consistent. Okay. Number 4, we want to be able to check the box that you are, maybe you're creating scarcity or urgency. I think, one or the other. You've got a strategy, not a strategy, such as maybe a limited time offer, an exclusive deal, a limited product availability, something that's going to prompt a quick decision making, right? I'm only taking on 2 more clients this year, something, an example like that. All right, check the box. Number 5, engage with your audience consistently. Now, this is something that of all the examples we looked at today, every single one of them is engaging with their audience consistently, whether it's Andy Frisella, it's First Form, it's, Mac, it's Lululemon, it's Alex Hormozi, like they are consistently in front of people. So do the best you can to maintain regular communication and nurturing relationships with your customers. This could be social media. It can be email marketing. It could be text messages. It could be, sending them notes, whatever it is, something that's going to engage your audience consistently. It's going to reinforce that you are still in business. It's going to reinforce that you're thinking about them, that you care. That's very important. Okay, number 6. Check the box on number 6. You offer high value content and services. Your content is valuable. If your purpose is to educate, then you are doing it. If your purpose is to entertain, you're doing it. If you're there to solve a problem, you're doing that. Are you a trusted authority? Are you reliable? Are you delivering on your value of your product and service? So that's important to check that box. Box number 7 to check. Are you utilizing strategic partnerships? I really like this for independently owned brands and businesses and professionals. If you have strategic partnerships, those professional partnerships, you can collaborate with complementary brands that are not competitors, right? So there's this brand out here in California called California Closets. California Closets is like the gold standard of closet organizers. And they're independently owned, but they're like the big ones over here. Now, I've got this other company that makes custom window treatments, blinds, drapes, shades, shutters, that kind of stuff. They're different. they're both in the interiors business for home or office. So what I did is, because I had built strong relationships with both of them, I architected a collaborative partnership, and they were cross promoting each other in each other's showrooms. Their salespeople were cross trained on each other's products, and they were cross selling to both of their benefits. And it was a very good partnership. So think about who you know or who's in your network. Who can you have a strategic partnership with that is going to benefit both businesses equally? Now, in this case, it was just referrals for them. It was straight across. Sometimes there's commission worked in with that kind of stuff. Like, be open-minded to how you're going to architect those kinds of deals, but you have to kind of put that business development hat on to see those opportunities. So this one, number 7, is kind of a tough one, and it's not always like straightforward. You have to sometimes think creatively to get there, but it can be really lucrative for both businesses. Okay, number 8. All right, so checking the box on number 8. This is, are you monitoring market trends and customer feedback? So this is basically like, are you staying informed and up to date on what's happening in your industry? Do you know the trends? Do you know what's happening in society, like related to your industry? Is there some sort of movement happening right now? Is there some sort of like news happening that you can jump on the back of that you want to align with? Or is there a new consumer need that you can meet that your product would be great for? So are you keeping an eye on the trends? Okay. Number 9 is related to your customer journey. So your customer journey is how your customer moves from being not a customer to being a customer. Like, what path did they take to go from being aware of your business to considering it to becoming a customer? All right, so number 9 officially is you optimize the customer journey. This ensures a smooth, user-friendly experience from their initial contact and initial awareness through consideration, purchase, and post-purchase. Like, was it an easy customer journey for them? Did they have to jump through a lot of hoops? Was the onboarding really smooth and seamless? Like, how easy did you make it for them to buy what they came to buy or solve the problem they were trying to solve? So not just do you have a customer journey, but are you optimizing it? Are you looking at your customer journey and being like, I could do better here. So earlier today, I realized that my customer journey is fine, but I actually need to optimize my employee onboarding journey, because I like to think that my employees are kind of my customers in a way too, because I really want them to be able to build their lives and, build our reputation by our employees having a successful experience working with us. And we were kind of missing a step in our onboarding process with our employees. We were forgetting to add in, this is kind of silly, but we give every new employee a bag of branded merchandise. It's like hats and t-shirts and, pens and notebooks and like all this really cool merch. And somebody had started a week ago and they still haven't gotten their branded merch. And it's like, that is so not okay. And I know that's a little thing, right? Because you're like, well, we onboarded all their documents and we did all their email training and we did their, all of the big stuff, but the little stuff matters. So make sure that you optimize the customer journey, the employee experience. Like, don't be afraid to make your operations run a little bit smoother too. So, all right, the last one, number 10, is to analyze. So kind of builds on the last one, but like just regularly assess the effectiveness of what you're doing. Do you need to improve your process? Do you need to make adjustments? Because all of our businesses, all of our websites, all of our customers, all of our products and services, they're not stagnant. They're alive. They're changing all the time. Our world is progressing forward. We are progressing. We are getting better all the time. Our products, our services, our clients, like everybody is on this, path of success with us. So make sure that you're analyzing and that you're making improvements over time, because you're on this journey of the Japanese word is kaizen. Kaizen means constant improvement. So we are all on this journey. We want to kaizen and analyze and, constantly improve what we're doing. So I will send the checklist. I will send the Alex Hormozi videos. I will send the recording. And with that, I will open it up to, we've got a few minutes left. Questions, comments, any of that other stuff.
Well, Rachel, they could have Fierce Grace Wellness, your employees, when they onboard, they get 5, free coaching sessions for 30 minutes to make sure all is well for them.
Let's
Right?
do it.
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Okay, done.
There
Okay.
it is. Look, as an employee of Sunday Brunch Agency, you'll get
Yeah.
your own personal coaching sessions with Fierce Grace Wellness.
Okay. All right. Can you
Yes, I will send you it all.
like write me a something that I can copy and paste and send to them with their, hey, follow these steps and onboard.
Yes,
And yes, done.
make it work. Yes.
I'll call the boss. Oh yes, you can get on. Yes, that'd be great. Hi, we just got to questions. Samantha,
I
did
ask a
you join
question?
just for questions? Yes.
Yes. Well, I just made it out of a torrential downpour, our second one in 2 days. So I'm a survivor. But hey, I have some questions for you about I would say I got myself into this, but you know my husband so well that he actually got me into this. So, because I don't say no to too many crazy things, but this lady needed an Etsy store built out, and I'm like, sure, of course I can do that. Well, this has turned into, I'm a incredible photographer now, and I'm taking all these earring pictures and stuff, which is fine. It's all good, but I'm doing, so I'm building out her store and everything right now on Etsy, which is a lot. And are you familiar enough with Etsy? Do you have any tips on how to like launch this store, or should I, because there's like a ad part of it too. Like, anyways, I guess I'm just looking for some insight on how to launch this Etsy store.
Well, sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll
Yes.
tell you. This is a safe
Um,
space.
It is. So an Etsy store is like any website.
Okay.
Honestly, if
What it
you
feels
built
like.
if you built a website and you didn't drive any traffic there, it would be a perfectly beautiful website that is just not getting any traffic, right? Etsy store is the same way. Just because you build it on Etsy doesn't mean that anyone's gonna find it. So
Yeah.
you've got to have ads, you've got to send people there, you've got to have content, just like you would with any website. So I think
Yeah.
that's the thing that people don't understand about Etsy. They're like, oh, I'm gonna have an Etsy shop, and it's just gonna like magically take off.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing on top of it. So this is a 70-year-old woman, loves her artisan porcelain ceramic earrings, right? And for maybe 70-year-olds, it's the thing you want to buy, but like doesn't even, she's like, what do you mean I have to have a social media account, right? She's like, well, I have a launch. Yeah, I want to launch my store. And I'm like, yeah, well, we got to launch, like you got to promote it on your social media. And she's like, what do you mean I have to do that? And I'm like, okay, so it's been very interesting. But on top of it, I'm having a really hard time connecting in a sense of I would never buy these earrings, right? And so I'm like trying to promote them and have the same excited passion that she has over these amazing earrings. I'm really struggling. But I guess my biggest thing was just run some ads.
Now you know why when I say that, like when people ask me like, well, what kind of clients does Sunday Brunch take? And I'm like, we take clients that we believe in. Like,
under 70. Just kidding.
We honestly we have struggled particularly with some of our I'm going to call them potential clients that we had to say no to, who were elderly, because we didn't believe in it. Like we had this one potential client that wanted to sell different sizes of, for lack of a better word, Ziploc bags. And And I was like, well, we don't believe in it because it's bad for the environment. We don't believe in it because you're being undersold on Amazon. Like, there's not a real business here. Like, it's just not viable. Like, we can't work on this. We don't believe in what you're doing for multiple reasons. And we had to pass. So, but you're in the position where you have to do it. So since you have to do it, you just kind of have to power through.
Yeah.
And don't treat it like it's your business. Unfortunately, you're just gonna have to treat it like the commodity that it is.
Yeah.
It's paying the bills, it's getting it done, and they're not all gonna be our favorite clients, but just do the work and move on.
Thank you.
Sorry. And yeah, the Etsy store, you gotta buy the ads,
Yes. Okay. Thanks for that.
do all the things. And she needs to understand, by the way, manage her expectation of what success looks like and how long success is going to take. Because I think she might misunderstand how it works.
So, thank you.
Rod.
Yeah, I want to just weigh in on that real quick because, you know, a 70-year-old woman, if she's the one passionate about it, she needs to be that spokesperson. So if anything you can do to help with a video of her talking about her product or how she makes them and all that sort of thing. And then where do you find the audience? Where are you going to find the buyers? And the first thing I'm thinking, I'm going back to Saturday Night Live here, the church lady. You know, this goes back probably before any of your guys' time, but there was a church lady on Saturday Night Live, and I just thought of that when you said porcelain earrings, and I thought, oh my gosh, it's the church lady. So maybe she can dole her cards out, starting with her women's church group if she's affiliated, and if she's not, maybe she should be. You know, find the place where older folks hang out, and she needs cards because if she doesn't have a social media site, you know, 70-year-old people might not even know how to use Etsy.
Yeah,
So
she asked me if
yeah,
we
kind
could
of
do an
tough,
earring
but
party with my friends, and I was like, I mean, my friends, I'm not sure.
I want to
But
see her
that's a good point.
succeed. I've just heard this story just tonight. I didn't know she was, I knew what you were working on, but I didn't know it was a 70-year-old woman. Now I love her and I want her to be successful. So now it's like I've got skin in the game already. You know, I'm going to put that in my dream hat. You know, hope I have a dream that reveals something tonight.
I'll
So
send you her link. You can buy a set of earrings.
I'll let you know. My mother passed away recently, but I'll keep it on the back burner.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, all right, you guys.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Tomorrow I'm pitching Fierce Grace Wellness to go inside of Central Wellness here in Billings. So I'm using all the things that we put together, Rachel. So for the praying people, let's just put a prayer out to the universe.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do that.
So yeah, I'm gonna use all these things. I'm finishing up a PowerPoint pitch slide to put together too, with all the things that we've worked on. So I'm gonna have that and go in looking good and yeah.
I love it. Yeah, this is the meeting with the founder.
Yeah, Janine Griffith of Central Wellness here in Billings. So it's a medical aesthetic place where, you know, they've got an amazing client base. And the pitch is that Fierce Grace Wellness will be an amazing asset to bring even more, you know, to their clients and to make them more money. So I'll put that all together.
I love it.
Okay.
All right. Sending
Okay.
good thoughts and juju to you for tomorrow. Yes.
Okay.
Hey, wait, while we're here real quick and we're wrapping up, I also wanted to answer your email about that blog.
Yeah.
Just give credit to the author in the blog. The question, by the way, was if you want to highlight somebody else's original content, their intellectual property on your website, what's the best way to do that? So right up front, say that it's authored by somebody else, link to where it is on another company's website. That's going to give them value of a backlink, which is incredibly valuable. And by the way, if you ever want to tell them that you're doing this and tell them that you're giving them a backlink and offer to, if they want to maybe do the same and reciprocate, that's always a nice trade. But just author by this company or by this person, you know, and you make it clear that it's like a guest blog by, you know, a third party, and then it would be acceptable to put it on your website.
Technologically though, how do you do that? Like if I'm on InBody and they write blogs and I want to take literally that blog and then put it into my website, like the actual.
Just highlight the text and copy it and paste it.
Okay, okay.
I mean, you're probably gonna have to reformat,
Mhm.
but yeah, just
Okay.
lift it. Yep.
Thank you.
Now I wouldn't do that from like, a big, you know, Procter and Gamble of the world or something, but as long as you're working with other independently owned brands and businesses that want to champion each other and
Yeah.
feel like awareness is a win, then yes.
With the Embody company.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. I think they'd probably be delighted that you're
Yeah,
doing
I've asked them and they said it would be great. I was just kind of trying to figure out how to technically take it from one place and put it together.
Yeah, especially since you're already you've already bought it, you're already promoting them on their website. Their logo's already all over your website. Like it just feels like a guest post from them would be a nice value add.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good, great. Okay, we ran a little bit over tonight. Sorry guys, but I will send all the follow-up pieces we talked about. Have a great rest of your night. Bye.
Thanks, Rachel.